YouTube, what it do, and what it don't do. Man, it's your boy Self-Conscious, and I'm tapping back in with a live video. Guys, give me a second. Give me a second to get set up. Give me a second to get situated. Y'all can come on in the room. Y'all already know what time it is. Trump train, top of the hour. And boy, look at here, man. I just had a good day, man. I just had a good day. Unbelievable. Whew. Hold on, man. Let me get set up, man. Let me get this thing set up. Oh, man, I just had a good day today, man. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm down here in my man cave, my little man hole. Let me get this thing right here set up real fast. Oh, man. When y'all come on in the room, y'all know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, comment, turn on all post notification bells. Tell a friend and let a friend know your boy Self-Conscious is live right now. I am live and I am active. Man, look at here, man. When I tell y'all I had a good day today, I'm finna show y'all what day I had today, and then we're gonna go live. We're gonna talk about it. Y'all already know what time it is. Kamala Harris reportedly supposed to just got out of the hospital. I don't know what's up with that. I don't really believe it. Don't really care about it. It is what it is. Turn on. All right, let me turn that on. Come on, turn on. Turn it on. It's on. Okay, let me put the poll up real fast, guys. Give me 1 second. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Trump 2024. I got the poll up. Let me step to the restroom real fast. Don't go nowhere, guys. I got to show y'all something. I made history today. Hold up for 1 second. Woo. I just made history. History today. Ah, man. Look at here. When I tell y'all I just made history, man, I just made history. Oh my God. Whoa. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh boy. I just did it, guys. I just did it. Trump train, top of the hour. I just made history. Unbelievable, man. I know I asked my moderators. I know I asked y'all guys to be on point that I was going back live at a specific time. I couldn't do it, and it's the reason why. A good time was going on. I'm gonna let y'all guys, for the ones that I took off of the moderator list, I'm gonna add y'all back on. I'm gonna tell y'all why, so just come on in so I can tell you. Listen, guys, I had a good day. I had a good day today, and I'm finna show y'all what your boy accomplished today. So me and my partner, we went fishing. We went fishing today, right? Let me show y'all guys what I snagged today, man. This is unbelievable, right? Hold on, let me get something to put down on the floor. I just can't lay this stuff down on the floor. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I just can't do it, guys. Man, this is crazy. Trump train, top of the hour. Y'all know what time it is. We finna get busy. What's going on? We finna get busy. So, did a little bass fishing today, right? What y'all think about that one? What y'all think about that one? Is that a nice bass or what? Is that a nice bass or what? Right? That's one, though. Then, well, I started to leave this one in the pond, but my daughter liked fish. She liked little small bass, so I kept that one for her. All right, so we're going to go back into the bucket, and I caught another nice little bass. What y'all think about that one? Y'all like that one? That's a nice one. All right, that ain't it. So I kept fishing. Like I said, I thought about my daughter. She liked to eat bass, so I kept a little small bass for her. Y'all see that? All right, that's one. All right, so we're going to go back in here again. And I got another one. That's a nice one. What y'all think about that one? Appreciate that. Beautiful bass. If y'all rocking with Donald Trump, drop mag in my chat while I'm showing y'all this bass fish too, man. What y'all think about that? Y'all liking that? Y'all feeling these? Are y'all feeling them? All right, that's one. We got another one. All right. Get down here in the bottom, and I'm gonna pull this one out. Like I said, I thought about my daughter. She liked bass, so I got that one. I kept that one for her, right? So we're gonna get down in the bucket, right? And what y'all think about this one? What y'all think about that one? Drop Trump 2024 in the chat, man. I got a massive video I'm finna hit y'all with. What y'all think about that one? Y'all like that one? All right, we're gonna keep going. So, look at this one right here, guys. What y'all think about this sucker right here? What y'all think about that one? Is that a huge bass or what? Let me turn him sideways. Let me lift him up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that massive bass? Y'all like that one? But that ain't it. I'll say the big one for the last. For last. Look at this sucker right here. What y'all think about that? Look at that. Now look at the mouth on this sucker. Look at the mouth. Look at the mouth on this sucker right here. Look at that. Look at that. Is that a massive bass or what? What's going on, Rick? What's going on? Y'all like that though? Look at that sucker down, man. Look at that. That's a bass, man. Look at the head on that joker, boy. Let me hold him with two hands. Look at the head. Y'all like that? Man, yeah. When I tell y'all I had a good day today, that's why I didn't go live live earlier, like I said I was. But let me put these fish back in the bucket. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is with self-conscious. Y'all know it's time to go in. Y'all already know what time it is. Double tap that stream for the win. Let's go. Double tap that stream. Let's go. 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 Double tap the stream for the win. Because I talked about something earlier. I shared a video, some content with y'all earlier. I don't think y'all caught on to it though. Yeah. I don't think y'all guys was paying attention to what I was dropping on y'all earlier, right? Well, don't worry about it. We're gonna get back in it. I don't think y'all paid attention to that information, this valuable information that I dropped on y'all earlier about these peoples up in North Carolina trapped up in these mountains or whatever, and how FEMA then told these people, look at here, we out of funds. We can't help y'all. Y'all gonna have to figure it out on y'all own. And then Kamala Harris bagged it all up. But y'all already know what time it is, man. I got a video for y'all guys, man. Tap in. Tap in with me. Tap in. It's on and popping today. We finna expose Kamala Harris. That's what we finna do. We finna expose. We finna expose. I ain't holding you. I can't hold you. We finna expose Kamala. Yes, sir. We finna expose Kamala. Yeah. Yeah, we finna expose Kamala. Y'all might as well get ready for it. Y'all might as well get ready for it. Kamala's finna get exposed today. And y'all talking about Kamala Harris. Man, I'm finna show y'all what's up with Kamala Harris. Yeah, I'm finna show you what's up with Kamala Harris. What it do? Double tap that stream for the win. Let's go, guys. Y'all know what time it is. Trump train, top of the hour. We ain't procrastinating. We ain't playing with it. We finna go in today. We gotta go in. We got to go in today, guys. It's only right and exact. It's only right that we go in. Because y'all know Kamala faking like she just got out of the hospital like she was sick. Kamala ain't been sick. Kamala ain't been sick, period, at all. None whatsoever. Bunch of bull jive, bunch of baloney. Want people to have sympathy for her. But look at here. Y'all haven't seen that debate between J.D. Vance and Waltz. Man. Whoa. Whoa. Have y'all seen that? I don't think y'all got a chance to see it. But we finna see it now. We finna see it now. We finna see it now. Yes, we is. Y'all better lock in. Y'all better lock in with me. Stop procrastinating. I already told y'all what time it is, man. Let me get this TV up. Let me get this thing up here to the TV. Let me get this thing up here. I ain't playing with it. I ain't playing with it. Let me get this sucker up here. Let me get this thing up here. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Nope, that's not it. Stop playing with it. Stop playing with it. I said Waltz. I said Waltz. That's who I want up here. J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Is this it? Come on. We got to link this TV code. Stick with me. Stick with me. Stick with me. Stick with me. Let's Flatfoot get it. Let's Flatfoot get it. When I tell y'all this debate was one-sided, I want y'all to double tap this stream for the win. You feel me? Let's go. Y'all already know what time it is, man. We ain't playing around with it today. We ain't playing around with it. We ain't playing around with it. Yeah, y'all stick with me. Y'all stick with me.
My name is Steve. I live in Pennsylvania.
Go back to home. No, sir, that ain't what I want. That is not, nope, go back home. That's not what I want. That's what I want y'all to see.
63-year-old CLL patient, but also a husband, father,
That's what I want y'all
grandfather,
to see.
and endurance sports enthusiast. The thing folks have to realize with my diagnosis is that I've always been an athlete my entire life.
I said home. I didn't say nothing about that. I didn't say nothing about that. Period. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me, guys. Power it off and power it back on. Y'all don't go nowhere. Double tap that stream now. Double tap that stream. Double tap that stream. I'm taking away from my day.
So for me to get diagnosed with a relatively mysterious blood cancer at the time, pretty much came out of left field. Countless blood tests, and I came back with everything pointing to chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Since I was diagnosed over the last almost 18 plus years, I've been through a gamut of treatments. My first foray into an oral medication left me some less than desirable side effects. And it was then that I moved on to Calquence, and I've had much better success. Of course, my doctor and I had in-depth conversations about potential side effects. I felt well informed. Being on Calquence has allowed me to stick with the treatment protocol that for me has been easy to manage, and it has not impeded my lifestyle.
Okay, here we go.
Or the hobbies I might do, as well as making sure I can still get to grandchildren.
Every parent knows when to go into protect mode.
There we go.
That's why Lysol cleans and kills 99.9% of germs. Don't just clean, Lysol clean.
When you order Domino's online,
There we
we'll give you
go.
a free pizza to use in the future. So you'll have an emergency.
With just over a month to go until Election Day, the first and only meeting between the two men who hope to become Vice President of the United States, Democratic Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota and Republican Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio.
Now, this is likely the final debate of this election cycle, and voting is already underway in 20 states. CBS News polling shows this remains a race either presidential candidate could win. The CBS News vice presidential debate starts now.
Fight for every single vote, and we're going to take this country back.
And we are ready to continue to build the future together.
We're going to turn this whole country red with President Donald J. Trump's leadership.
You know what's at the end of this little journey? Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States.
This is a CBS News special, live from CBS News headquarters in New York. America Decides, the vice presidential debate.
Good evening, I'm Nora O'Donnell, and thank you for joining us for tonight's CBS News Vice Presidential Debate. We want to welcome our viewers on CBS, on other networks here in the U.S. and around the world. We have a consequential night ahead, and our focus is the issues that matter to you, the voter. Let's introduce
Let's
the candidates.
go.
Minnesota's
J.D.
Democratic
Vance, baby.
Governor Tim Walz and Ohio's Republican Senator J.D. Vance tonight meeting for the first time.
I'm Margaret Brennan. In order to have a thoughtful and civil debate, these are the rules that both campaigns have agreed to. Questions will be directed at one candidate, who will have 2 minutes to respond. The other candidate will be allowed 2 minutes for rebuttal. Then each candidate will get another minute to make further points, with an additional 1 minute each at the discretion of the moderator. The primary role of the moderators is to facilitate the debate between the candidates, enforce the rules, and provide the candidates with the opportunity to fact-check claims made by each other.
CBS News reserves the right to mute the candidates' microphones to maintain decorum. We have not shared the questions or topics with the campaigns. The stage is set.
That's a
Now,
lie. Waltz
Senator,
already
thank
knew
you
what they
for
was
joining
gonna
us.
ask, and J.D.
Let's get
Vance
started.
still mopped the
Tonight,
floor
our
with
country
it.
is facing several unfolding crises. The Middle East is on the brink of war. Americans are suffering from the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Helene. And now a labor strike as 25,000 dock workers from Maine to Texas are picketing. We're going to begin tonight with the Middle East. Margaret.
Thank you, Nora. Earlier today, Iran launched its largest attack yet on Israel, but that attack failed, thanks to joint U.S. and Israeli defensive action. President Biden has deployed more than 40,000 U.S. military personnel and assets to that region over the past year to try to prevent a regional war. Iran is weakened, but the U.S. still considers it the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and it has drastically reduced the time it would take to develop a nuclear weapon. It is down now to 1 or 2 weeks' time. Governor Walz, if you were the final voice in the Situation Room, would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
Well, thank you. And thank you for those joining at home tonight. Let's keep in mind where this started. October 7th, Hamas terrorists massacred over 1,400 Israelis and took prisoners. Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental. Getting its hostages back, fundamental, and ending the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But the expansion of Israel and its proxies is an absolute fundamental necessity for the United States to have the steady leadership there. You saw it experienced today, where along with our Israeli partners and our coalition, able to stop the incoming attack. But what's fundamental here is that steady leadership is going to matter. It's clear, and the world saw it on that debate stage a few weeks ago. A nearly 80-year-old Donald Trump talking about crowd sizes is not what we need in this moment. But it's not just that. It's those that were closest to Donald Trump that understand how dangerous he is when the world is this dangerous. His chief of staff, John Kelly, said that he was the most flawed human being he'd ever met. And both of his secretaries of defense and his national security advisors said he should be nowhere near the White House. Now, the person closest to them, Donald Trump, said he's unfit for the highest office. That was Senator Vance. What we've seen out of Vice President Harris is we've seen steady leadership. We've seen a calmness that is able to draw on the coalitions to bring them together. Understanding that our allies matter. When our allies see Donald Trump turn towards Vladimir Putin, turn towards North Korea, when we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, we will stay committed. And as the vice president said today we will protect our forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Governor, your time is up. Senator Vance, the same question. Would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
So, Margaret, I want to answer the question. First of all, thanks, Governor. Thanks to CBS for hosting the debate. And thanks, most importantly, to the American people who are watching this evening and caring enough about this country to pay attention to this vice presidential debate. I want to answer the question, but I want to actually give an introduction to myself a little bit because I recognize a lot of Americans don't know who either one of us are. I was raised in a working class family. My mother required food assistance for periods of her life. My grandmother required Social Security help to raise me. And she raised me in part because my own mother struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my
Man,
own
y'all
life.
hit that like
I went
button for
to
JD
college
Vance to
on the
stop
GI Bill
faking.
after I enlisted in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq. And so I stand here asking to be your vice president with extraordinary gratitude for this country, for the American dream that made it possible for me to live my dreams. And most importantly, I know that a lot of you are worried about the chaos in the world and the feeling that the American dream is unattainable. I want to try to convince you tonight over the next 90 minutes that if we get better leadership in the White House, if we get Donald Trump back in the White House, the American dream is going to be attainable once again. Now, to answer this particular question, we have to remember that as much as Governor Walz just accused Donald Trump of being an agent of chaos, Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did it by establishing effective deterrence. People were afraid of stepping out of line. Iran, which launched this attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the Kamala Harris administration. What do they use that money for? They use it to buy weapons that they're now launching against our allies, and God forbid, potentially launching against the United States as well. Donald Trump recognized that for people to fear the United States, you needed peace through strength. They needed to recognize that if they got out of line, the United States global leadership would put stability and peace back in the world. Now, you asked about a preemptive strike, Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
Thank you, Senator. Governor Walz, do you care to respond to any of the allegations?
Well, look, Donald Trump was in office. We'll sometimes hear a revisionist history, but when Donald Trump was in office, it was Donald Trump who we had a coalition of nations that had boxed Iran's nuclear program in, the inability to advance it. Donald Trump pulled that program and put nothing else in its place. So Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than they were before because of Donald Trump's fickle leadership. And when Iran shot down an American aircraft in international airspace, Donald Trump tweeted, because that's the standard diplomacy of Donald Trump. And when Iranian missiles did fall near U.S. troops and they received traumatic brain injuries, Donald Trump wrote it off as headaches. Look, our allies understand that Donald Trump is fickle. He will go to whoever has the most flattery or where it makes sense to him. Steady leadership like you witnessed today, like you witnessed in April. Both Iranian attacks were repelled. Our coalition is strong, and we need the steady leadership that Kamala Harris is providing.
Senator Vance, the U.S. did have a diplomatic deal with Iran to temporarily pause parts of its nuclear program, and President Trump did exit that deal. He recently said, just 5 days ago, the U.S. must now make a diplomatic deal with Iran because the consequences are impossible. Did he make a mistake? You have 1 minute.
Well, first of all,
this is a battery-sucking lie. Because at Aldi, you don't need an app to get a low price.
We're going to skip this ad.
Yeah. That everyday low price.
everything we don't do is for you. It's an Aldi thing.
Come on with this long ass ad.
Daddy. Mama.
Hold on, guys. We got to let this ad run. I need y'all to support JD Vance like y'all support Donald Trump. Smash the like button, man. It's free. The like button is free. Smash the like button for JD Vance.
Major revelations last week when the three scientists who fell sick with COVID-like symptoms.
First of all, Margaret, diplomacy is not a dirty word, but I think that something that Governor Walz just said is quite extraordinary. You yourself just said Iran is as close to a nuclear weapon today as they have ever been. And Governor Walz, you blame Donald Trump. Who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate, not mine. Donald Trump consistently made the world more secure. Now, we talk about what the sequence of events that led us to where we are right now, and you can't ignore October the 7th, which I appreciate Governor Walz bringing up. But when did Iran and Hamas and their proxies attack Israel? It was during the administration of Kamala Harris. So Governor Walz can criticize Donald Trump's tweets, but effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before. Ask yourself at home, when was the last time, I'm 40 years old, when was the last time that an American president didn't have a major conflict break out? The only answer is during the 4 years that Donald Trump was president.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to. Nora?
Margaret, thank you. Let's turn now to Hurricane Helene. The storm could become one of the deadliest on record. More than 160 people are dead and hundreds more are missing. Scientists say climate change makes these hurricanes larger, stronger, and more deadly because of the historic rainfall. Senator Vance, according to CBS News polling, 7 in 10 Americans and more than 60% of Republicans under the age of 45 favor the U.S. taking steps to try and reduce climate change. Senator, what responsibility would the Trump administration have to try and reduce the impact of climate change? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Sure. So first of all, let's start with the hurricane because it's an unbelievable, unspeakable human tragedy. I just saw today actually a photograph of 2 grandparents on a roof with a 6-year-old child, and it was the last photograph ever taken of them because the roof collapsed and those innocent people lost their lives. And I'm sure Governor Walz joins me in saying our hearts go out to those innocent people, our prayers go out to them, and we want as robust and aggressive as a federal response as we can get to save as many lives as possible, and then of course afterwards to help the people in those communities rebuild. I mean, these are communities that I love. Some of them I know very personally in Appalachia, all across the Southeast. They need their government to do their job, and I commit that when Donald Trump is president again, the government will put the citizens of this country first when they suffer from a disaster. Now, Nora, you asked about climate change. I think this is a very important issue. Look, a lot of people are justifiably worried about all these crazy weather patterns. I think it's important for us, first of all, to say, Donald Trump and I support clean air, clean water. We want the environment to be cleaner and safer. But one of the things that I've noticed some of our Democratic friends talking a lot about is a concern about carbon emissions, this idea that carbon emissions drives all of the climate change. Well, let's just say that's true, just for the sake of argument, so we're not arguing about weird science. Let's just say that's true. Well, if you believe that, what would you want to do? The answer is that you'd want to reshore as much American manufacturing as possible, and you'd want to produce as much energy as possible in the United States of America because we're the cleanest economy in the entire world. What have Kamala Harris's policies actually led to? More energy production in China, more manufacturing overseas, more doing business in some of the dirtiest parts of the entire world. And when I say that, I mean the amount of carbon emissions they're doing per unit of economic output. So if we actually care about getting cleaner air and cleaner water, the best thing to do is to double down and invest in American workers and the American people. And unfortunately, Kamala Harris has done exactly the opposite.
Governor Walz, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, we got close to an agreement because all those things are happening. Look, first of all, it is a horrific tragedy with this hurricane. And my heart goes out to the folks that are down there in contact with the governors. I serve as co-chair of the Council of Governors as we work together on these emergency managements. Governors, no partisanship, they work together. So all of the governors and the emergency responders are on the ground. Those happen on the front end. the federal government comes in, makes sure they're there to that we recover. But we're still in that phase where we need to make sure that they're staying there, staying focused. Now, look, coming back to the climate change issue, there's no doubt this thing roared onto the scene faster and stronger than anything we've seen. Senator Vance has said that there's a climate problem in the past. Donald Trump called it a hoax and then joked that these things would make more beachfront property to be able to invest in. What we've seen out of the Harris administration now, the Biden-Harris administration, is we've seen this investment. We've seen massive investments, the biggest in global history that we've seen in the Inflation Reduction Act, has created jobs all across the country. 2,000 in Jeffersonville, Ohio, taking the EV technology that we invented and making it here. 200,000 jobs across the country. The largest solar manufacturing plant in North America sits in Minnesota. But my farmers know climate change is real. They've seen 500-year droughts, 500-year floods back to back. But what they're doing is adapting, and this has allowed them to tell me, look, I harvest corn, I harvest soybean, and I harvest wind. We are producing more natural gas and more oil at any time than we ever have. We're also producing more clean energy. So the solution for us is to continue to move forward, that climate change is real. Reducing our impact is absolutely critical, but this is not a false choice. You can do that at the same time you're creating the jobs that we're seeing all across the country. That's exactly what this administration has done. We are seeing us becoming an energy superpower for the future, not just the current. And that's what absolutely makes sense. And then we start thinking about how do we mitigate these disasters.
Thank you. Senator, I want to give you an opportunity to respond there. The governor mentioned that President Trump has called climate change a hoax. Do you agree?
Well, look, what the president has said is that if the Democrats, in particular Kamala Harris and her leadership, if they really believe that climate change is serious, what they would be doing is more manufacturing and more energy production in the United States of America, and that's not what they're doing. So clearly, Kamala Harris herself doesn't believe her own rhetoric on this. If she did, she would actually agree with Donald Trump's energy policies. Now, something Governor Walz said I think is important to touch upon, because when we talk about clean energy, I think that's a slogan that often the Democrats will use here. I'm talking, of course, about the Democratic leadership. And the real issue is that if you're spending hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars of American taxpayer money on solar panels that are made in China, number one, you're going to make the economy dirtier. We should be making more of those solar panels here in the United States of America. Some of them are, Tim, but a lot of them are being made overseas in China, especially the components that go into those solar panels. So if you really want to make the environment cleaner, you've got to invest in more energy production. We haven't built a nuclear facility, I think, one in the past 40 years. Natural gas, we got to invest more in it. Kamala Harris has done the opposite. That's raised energy prices and also meant that we're doing
Senator,
worse by the
your time
climate.
is up. Governor, would you like to respond?
Well, look, we're producing more natural gas than we ever have. There's no moratorium on that. We're producing more oil. But the folks know, and like I said again, these are not liberal folks. These are not folks that are Green New Deal folks. These are farmers that have been drought one year, massive flooding the next year. They understand that it makes sense. Look, our number one export cannot be topsoil from erosion from these massive storms. We saw it in Minnesota this summer. And thinking about how do we respond to that, we're thinking ahead on this. And what Kamala Harris has been able to do in Minnesota, we're starting to weatherproof some of these things. The infrastructure law that was passed allows us to think about mitigation in the future. How do we make sure that we're protecting by burying our power lines? How do we make sure that we're protecting lakefronts and things that we're seeing more and more of? But to call it a hoax and to take the oil company executives to Mar-a-Lago, say, give me money for my campaign, and I'll let you do whatever you want. We can be smarter about that, and an all-above energy policy is exactly what she's doing, creating those jobs right here.
Action. Competition.
All right, guys, we got a commercial break. Hold up for 1 second. Now turn this commercial, turn this thing down. Got a commercial break. All right, we can skip it now.
Governor, your time is up. The overwhelming consensus among scientists is that the Earth's climate is warming at an unprecedented rate. Margaret?
Thank you, Nora. We're going to turn now to immigration. The crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border consistently ranks as one of the top issues for American voters. Senator Vance, your campaign is pledging to carry out the largest mass deportation plan in American history and to use the U.S. military to do so. Could you be more specific about exactly how this will work? For example, would you deport parents who have entered the U.S. illegally and separate them from any of their children who were born on U.S. soil? You have 2 minutes.
So first of all, Margaret, before we talk about deportations, we have to stop the bleeding. We have a historic immigration crisis because Kamala Harris started and said that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies. 94 executive orders suspending deportations, decriminalizing illegal aliens, massively increasing the asylum fraud that exists in our system. That has opened the floodgates. And what it's meant is that a lot of fentanyl is coming into our country. I had a mother who struggled with opioid addiction and has gotten clean. I don't want people who are struggling with addiction to be deprived of their second chance because Kamala Harris let in fentanyl into our communities at record levels. So you've got to stop the bleeding. You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies, build the wall, re-implement deportations. And that gets me to your point, Margaret, about what do we actually do? So we've got 25 million illegal aliens who are here in the country. What do we do with them? I think the first thing that we do is we start with the criminal migrants. About 1 million of those people have committed some form of crime in addition to crossing the border illegally. I think you start with deportations on those folks. And then I think you make it harder for illegal aliens to undercut the wages of American workers. A lot of people will go home if they can't work for less than minimum wage in our own country. And by the way, that'll be really good for our workers who just want to earn a fair wage for doing a good day's work. And the final point, Margaret, is you asked about family separation. Right now in this country, Margaret, we have 320,000 children that the Department of Homeland Security has effectively lost. Some of them have been sex trafficked. Some of them hopefully are at homes with their families. Some of them have been used as drug trafficking mules. The real family separation policy in this country is unfortunately Kamala Harris's wide open southern border. And I'd ask my fellow Americans to remember when she came into office, she said she was going to do this. Real leadership would be saying, you know what, I screwed up. We're going to go back to Donald Trump's border policies. I wish that she would do that. It would be good for all of us.
Governor, do you care to respond to any of those specific allegations, including that the vice president is, quote, letting in fentanyl and using kids as drug mules, among other things, regarding children?
The drug mule is not true, but I will say about the fentanyl, because this is a crisis of this, the opioid crisis. And the good news on this is the last 12 months saw the largest decrease in opioid deaths in our nation's history. 30% decrease in Ohio, but there's still more work to do. But let's go back to this on immigration. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of the largest state, a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug interventions. But look, we all want to solve this. Most of us want to solve this, and that is the United States Congress. That's the Border Patrol agents. That's the Chamber of Commerce. That's most Americans out here. That's why we had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. It was crafted by a conservative senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford. I know him, he's super conservative, but he's a man of principle, wants to get it done. Democrats and Republicans worked on this piece of legislation. The Border Patrol say this is what we need in here. These are the experts. And the Chamber of Commerce and the Wall Street Journal said, pass this thing. Kamala Harris helped get there. 1,500 new border agents, detection for drugs, DOJ money to speed up these the adjudications on this, just what America wants. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue. It gives him what would Donald Trump talk about if we actually did some of these things? And they need to be done by the legislature. You can't just do this through the executive branch. So look, we have the options to do this. Donald Trump had 4 years. He had 4 years to do this. And he promised you, America, how easy it would be. I'll build you a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico will pay for it. Less than 2% of that wall got built, and Mexico didn't pay a dime. But here we are again, 9 years after he came down that escalator, dehumanizing people and telling them what he was going to do. As far as the deportation plan, at one point, Senator Vance said it was so unworkable to be laughable. So that's where we're at. Pass the bill, she'll sign it.
Governor, your time is up. Senator, the question was, will you separate parents from their children, even if their kids are U.S. citizens? You have 1 minute.
Margaret, my point is that we already have massive child separations thanks to Kamala Harris's open border. And I didn't accuse Kamala Harris of inviting drug mules. I said that she enabled the Mexican drug cartels to operate freely in this country. And we know that they use children as drug mules, and it is a disgrace, and it has to stop. Look, I think what Tim said just doesn't pass the smell test. For 3 years, Kamala Harris went out bragging that she was going to undo Donald Trump's border policy. She did exactly that. We had a record number of illegal crossings. We had a record number of fentanyl coming into our country. And now that she's running for president, or a few months before, she says that somehow she got religion and cared a lot about a piece of legislation. The only thing that she did when she became the vice president, when she became the appointed border czar, was to undo 94 Donald Trump executive actions that opened the border. This problem is leading to massive problems in the United States of America. Parents who can't afford health care, schools that are overwhelmed. It's got to stop, and it will when Donald Trump is president.
Senator, your time is up. Governor, what about our CBS News polling, which does show that a majority of Americans, more than 50%, support mass deportations?
Look, we fix this issue with a bill that is necessary, but the issue on this is what happens when you don't want to solve it. You demonize it. And we saw this, and Senator Vance, and it surprises me on this, talking about and saying, I will create stories to bring attention to this. That vilified a large number of people who were here legally in the community of Springfield. The Republican governor said, it's not true, don't do it. There's consequences for this. There's consequences. We could come together. Senator Langford did it. We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. I believe Senator Vance wants to solve this, but by standing with Donald Trump and not working together to find a solution, it becomes a talking point. And when it becomes a talking point like this, we dehumanize and villainize other human beings.
Tim,
Governor, your time is up. Senator, I'll give you 1 minute, but let me just ask you the question first. The governor has made the point, and I think as a sitting lawmaker, you know that Congress controls the purse strings and any funding. So you have said repeatedly that Donald Trump would, through executive action, solve this. Do you disagree that Congress controls the purse strings and would need to support many of the changes that you would actually want to implement? You have 1 minute.
Look, Margaret, first of all, the gross majority of what we need to do at the southern border is just empowering law enforcement to do their job. I've been to the southern border more than our borders are. Kamala Harris has been, and it's actually heartbreaking because the Border Patrol agents, they just want to be empowered to do their job. Of course, additional resources would help, but most of this is about the president and the vice president empowering our law enforcement to say, if you try to come across the border illegally, you've got to stay in Mexico, you've got to go back through proper channels. Now, Governor Walz brought up the community of Springfield, and he's very worried about the things that I've said in Springfield. Look, in Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed, you've got hospitals that are overwhelmed, you've got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes. The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's open border. It is a disgrace, Tim, and I actually think, I agree with you. I think you want to solve this problem, but I don't think that Kamala Harris does.
Senator, your time is up. Governor, you have 1 minute to respond.
Yeah, well, it is law enforcement that asked for the bill. They helped craft it. They're the ones that supported it. That's because they know we need to do this. Look, this issue of continuing to bring this up, of not dealing with it, of blaming migrants for everything. On housing, we could talk a little bit about Wall Street speculators buying up housing and making them less affordable, but it becomes a blame. Look, this bill also gives the money necessary to adjudicate. I agree, it should not take 7 years for an asylum claim to be done. This bill gets it done in 90 days. Then you start to make a difference in this, and you start to adhere to what we know, American principles. Look, I don't talk about my faith a lot, but Matthew 25:40 talks about, to the least amongst us you do unto me. I think that's true of most Americans. They simply want order to it. This bill does it. It's funded. It's supported by the people who do it. And it lets us keep our dignity about how we treat other people.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status temporary protected status.
Well,
Nora?
but
Thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's
Nora.
important
We're
because
going to turn now to the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that
The
you guys weren't
economy,
going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own
Thank you, Senator, for
leadership.
describing the legal
And
process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those
We have
laws
so
have been
much.
on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
We
CBP
want to have,
app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal process. Nora?
Thank you, Margaret. The economy is a top concern for voters. Each of your campaigns has released an economic plan, so let's talk about the specifics. Governor Walz, Vice President Harris unveiled a plan that includes billions in tax credits for manufacturing, housing, and a renewed child tax credit. The Wharton School says your proposals will increase the nation's deficit by $1.2 trillion. How would you pay for that without ballooning the deficit? Governor, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. And Kamala Harris and I do believe in the middle class because that's where we come from. We both grew up in that. We understand. So those of you out there listening tonight, you're hearing a lot of stuff back and forth, and it's good. It's healthy. That's what this is supposed to happen. You should be listening. How's this going to impact me? The bold forward plan that Kamala Harris put out there is one, it's talking about this housing issue. The one thing is there's 3 million new houses proposed under this plan with down payment assistance on the front end to get you in a house. A house is much more than just an asset to be traded somewhere. It's foundational to where you're at. And then making sure that the things you buy every day, whether they be prescription drugs or other things, that there's fairness in that. Look, the $35 insulin is a good thing, but it costs $5 to make insulin. They were charging $800 before this law went into effect. As far as the housing goes, I've seen it in Minnesota. 12% more houses in Minneapolis, prices went down on rent 4%. It's working. And then making sure tax cuts go to the middle class. $6,000 child tax credit, we have one in Minnesota, reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We save money in the long run, and we do the right thing for families. And then getting businesses off the ground. The law as it stands right now is $5,000 tax credit for small business, increasing that to $50,000. Now, this is a philosophical difference between us. Donald Trump made a promise, and I'll give you this, he kept it. He took folks to Mar-a-Lago, said, you're rich as hell, I'm gonna give you a tax cut. He gave the tax cuts that predominantly went to the top class. What happened there was an $8 trillion increase in the national debt, the largest ever. Now he's proposing a 20% consumption or sales tax on everything we bring in. Everyone agrees, including businesses, it would be destabilizing it would increase inflation and potentially lead to a recession. Look, this is simple for you. Where are we going? Kamala Harris has said to do the things she wants to do, we'll just ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share. When you do that, our system works best, more people are participating in it, and folks have the things that they need.
Senator, I want to give you a moment to respond on that. But similarly, the Wharton School has done an analysis of the Trump plan and says it would increase the nation's deficit by $5.8 trillion. My question is the same for you. How do you pay for all that without ballooning the deficit? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, you're going to hear a lot from Tim Walz this evening, and you just heard it in the answer, a lot of what Kamala Harris proposes to do, and some of it, I'll be honest with you, it even sounds pretty good. Here's what you won't hear, is that Kamala Harris has already done it. Because she's been the vice president for 3.5 years. She had the opportunity to enact all of these great policies, and what she's actually done instead is drive the cost of food higher by 25%, drive the cost of housing higher by about 60%, open the American southern border and make middle-class life unaffordable for a large number of Americans. If Kamala Harris has such great plans for how to address middle-class problems, then she ought to do them now. Not when asking for promotion, but in the job the American people gave her 3.5 years ago. And the fact that she isn't tells you a lot about how much you can trust her actual plans. Now, Donald Trump's economic plan is not just a plan, but it's also a record. A lot of those same economists attack Donald Trump's plans, and they have PhDs, but they don't have common sense and they don't have wisdom. Because Donald Trump's economic policies delivered the highest take-home pay in a generation in this country, 1.5% inflation, and to boot, peace and security all over the world. So when people say that Donald Trump's economic plan doesn't make sense, I say look at the record. He delivered rising take-home pay for American workers. Now, Tim admirably admits that they want to undo the Trump tax cuts. But if you look at what was so different about Donald Trump's tax cuts, even from previous Republican tax cut plans, is that a lot of those resources went to giving more take-home pay to middle-class and working-class Americans. It was passed in 2017, and you saw an American economic boom unlike we've seen in a generation in this country. That is a record that I'm proud to run on, and we're going to get back to that common sense wisdom so that you can afford to live the American dream again. I know a lot of you are struggling. I know a lot of you are worried about paying the bills. It's going to stop when Donald Trump brings back common sense to this country.
Governor, do you want to respond to that? What has Kamala Harris done for the middle class?
Yeah, well, Kamala Harris's day one was Donald Trump's failure on COVID that led to the collapse of our economy. We were already before COVID in a manufacturing recession, but 10 million people out of work, largest percentage since the Great Depression. 9 million jobs closed on that. That was day one. Whether it was the Infrastructure Act or other things we moved. Now, you made a question about experts, said this. I've made a note of this. Economists can't be trusted. Science can't be trusted. National security folks can't be trusted. Look, if you're going to be president, you don't have all the answers. Donald Trump believes he does. My pro tip of the day is this. If you need heart surgery, listen to the people at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, not Donald Trump. And the same thing goes with this. And I ask you out there, teachers, nurses, truck drivers, whatever, how is it fair that you're paying your taxes every year and Donald Trump hasn't paid any federal tax in the last 15 years? The last year as president. That's what's wrong with the system. There's a way around it, and he's bragged about that. We're just asking for fairness in it, and that's all you want.
You have a minute.
Governor, you say trust the experts. But those same experts for 40 years said that if we shipped our manufacturing base off to China, we'd get cheaper goods. They lied about that. They said if we shipped our industrial base off to other countries, to Mexico and elsewhere, it would make the middle class stronger. They were wrong about that. They were wrong about the idea that if we made America less self-reliant, less productive in our own nation, that it would somehow make us better off, and they were wrong about it. And for the first time in a generation, Donald Trump had the wisdom and the courage to say to that bipartisan consensus, we're not doing it anymore. We're bringing American manufacturing back. We're unleashing American energy. We're going to make more of our own stuff. And this isn't just an economic issue. And I've got 3 beautiful little kids at home, 7, 4, and 2, and I love them very much, and I hope they're in bed right now. But look, so many of the drugs, the pharmaceuticals that we put in the bodies of our children are manufactured by nations that hate us. This has to stop, and we're not going to stop it by listening to experts. We're going to stop it by listening to common sense wisdom, which is what Donald Trump governed on.
Senator, your time is up. Governor Walz, can you address that? I mean, voters say they trust Donald Trump on the economy more. Why?
If you're listening tonight and you want billionaires to get tax cuts, you heard what the numbers were. Look, I'm a union guy on this. I'm not a guy who wanted to ship things overseas, but I understand that, look, we produce soybeans and corn. We need to have fair trading partners. That's something that we believe in. I think the thing that most concerns me on this is Donald Trump was the guy who created the largest trade deficit in American history with China. So the rhetoric is good. Much of what the senator said right there, I'm in agreement with him on this. I watched it happen too. I watched it to my communities, and we talked about that. But we had people undercutting the right to collectively bargain. We had right to work states made it more difficult. We had companies that were willing to ship it over, and we saw people profit. Folks that are venture capital in some cases, putting money into companies that were overseas. We're in agreement that we bring those home. The issue is Donald Trump is talking about it. Kamala Harris has a record, 250,000 more manufacturing jobs just out of the IRA.
May I respond to that?
Yes.
So I appreciate that. So if you notice, what Governor Walz just did is he said, first of all, Donald Trump has to listen to the experts. And then when he acknowledged that the experts screwed up, he said, well, Donald Trump didn't do nearly as good of a job as the statistics show that he did. So what Tim Walz is doing, and I honestly, Tim, I think you got a tough job here, because you've got to play whack-a-mole. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver lower inflation, which of course he did, and then you simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens. I was raised by a woman who would sometimes go into medical debt so that she could put food on the table in our household. I know what it's like to not be able to afford the things that you need to afford. We can do so much better. To all of you watching, we can get back to an America that's affordable again. We just got to get back to common sense economic principles.
I hope we have a conversation on healthcare then.
Senator, Governor.
Please.
Thank you. Margaret?
We have a lot to get to ahead, gentlemen, on many topics. But right now, I want to talk about personal qualifications. The vice president is often the last voice the president hears before making consequential decisions. We want to ask you about your leadership qualities. Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17, worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything. Many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Vance, in 2016, you called your running mate Donald Trump unfit for the nation's highest office, and you said he could be America's Hitler. I know you've been asked many times, and you've said you regret those comments and explained you then voted for Donald Trump in 2020. But the Washington Post reported new messages last week in which you also disparaged Trump's economic record while he was president, writing to someone in 2020, quote, Trump thoroughly failed to deliver his economic populism. You're now his running mate, and you've shifted many of your policy stances to align with his. If you become vice president, why should Americans trust that you will give Donald Trump the advice he needs to hear, and not just the advice he wants to hear? You have two.
Dryland individuals can also earn on uninvested money.
Guys, can y'all hit that like button, man? We got to support JD Vance just like we support Trump. Hit that like button, man. I need y'all to hit that like button because I'm about to end this video and I'm about to talk about it. But I need y'all to get them likes up.
First of all, Margaret, because I've always been open.
Get
Sometimes,
them likes
of course,
up.
I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump. I was wrong, first of all, because I believed some of the media stories that turned out to be dishonest fabrications of his record. But most importantly, Donald Trump delivered for the American people. Rising wages, rising take-home pay, an economy that worked for normal Americans, a secure southern border, a lot of things, frankly, that I didn't think he'd be able to deliver on. And yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak, when you get something wrong and you change your mind, you ought to be honest with the American people about it. It's one of the reasons, Margaret, why I've done so many interviews is because I think it's important to actually explain to the American people where I come down on the issues and what changed. Now, you pointed out the messages from 2020. Margaret, I've been extremely consistent that I think there were a lot of things that we could have done better in the Trump administration the first round if Congress was doing its job. I strongly believe, and I've been a United States Senator, that Congress is not just a high-class debating society. It's not just a forum for senators and congressmen to whine about problems. It's a forum to govern. So there were a lot of things on the border, on tariffs, for example, where I think that we could have done so much more if the Republican Congress and the Democrats in Congress had been a little bit better about how they govern the country. They were so obsessed with impeaching Donald Trump, they couldn't actually govern. And I want to talk about this tariff issue in particular, Margaret, because Tim just accused this of being a national sales tax. Look, the one thing, and you're probably surprised to hear me praising Joe Biden, but the one thing that Joe Biden did is he continued some of the Trump tariffs that protected American manufacturing jobs. And it's the one issue, the most pro-worker part of the Biden administration, it's the one issue where Kamala Harris has run away from Joe Biden's record. Think about this. If you're trying to employ slave laborers in China at $3 a day, you're going to do that and undercut the wages of American workers unless our country stands up for itself and says, you're not accessing our markets unless you're paying middle-class Americans a fair wage.
Senator, your time is up. Nora?
Thank you. Now to the issue of reproductive rights. Governor Walz, after Roe versus Wade was overturned, you signed a bill into law that made Minnesota one of the least restrictive states in the nation when it comes to abortion. Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says, but look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade. 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, oh, we send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing. A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duvall, a 12-year-old child, raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not what, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will. Their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies. It's going to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments. For so many of you out there listening, me included, infertility treatments are why I have a child. That's nobody else's business, but those things are being proposed. And the catch-all on this is, well, the states will decide what's right for Texas might not be right for Washington. That's not how this works. This is basic human right. We have seen maternal mortality skyrocket in Texas, outpacing many other countries in the world. This is about healthcare. In Minnesota, we are ranked first in healthcare for a reason. We trust women, we trust doctors.
Senator, do you want to respond to the governor's claim? Will you create a federal pregnancy monitoring agency?
No, Nora, certainly we won't. And I want to talk about this issue because I know a lot of Americans care about it, and I know a lot of Americans don't agree with everything that I've ever said on this topic. And, you know, I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a lot of young women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. And, you know, I one of them is actually very dear to me. And I know she's watching tonight, and I love you. And she told me something a couple years ago that she felt like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. And I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect the vulnerable, is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do. I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies. I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
Governor, would you like to respond and also answer the question about restrictions?
Yeah, well, the question got asked and Donald Trump made the accusation that wasn't true about Minnesota. Well, let me tell you about this idea that there's diverse states. There's a young woman named Amber Thurman. She happened to be in Georgia, a restrictive state. Because of that, she had to travel a long distance to North Carolina to try and get her care. Amber Thurman died in that journey back and forth. The fact of the matter is, how can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography? There's a very real chance had Amber Thurman lived in Minnesota, she would be alive today. That's why the restoration of Roe versus Wade. When you listen to Vice President Harris talk about this subject and you hear me talk about it, you hear us talking exactly the same. Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to get the political right of this. I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said about what's happening. His running mate, though, does not, and that's the problem.
Governor, your time is up. Senator, let me ask you about that. He mentioned, it was, I think, referring to a national ban. In the past, you have supported a federal ban on abortion after 15 weeks. In fact, you said if someone can't support legislation like that, quote, you are making the United States the most barbaric pro-abortion regime anywhere in the entire world. My question is, why have you changed your position?
Well, Nora,
It's an exciting time at Farmers Home Furniture as we celebrate our 75th anniversary. Your friendly local store has amazing deals going on now, like feather sofa, just $5.75. Looking to recline?
I don't want clay dust inside of you, or chemicals in the place you put. In my arms or in your box, our love will be pure.
World's best cat litter. World's best cat.
Well, Nora, first of all, I never supported a national ban. I did, during when I was running for Senate in 2022, talk about setting some minimum national standard. For example, we have a partial birth abortion ban in place in this country at the federal level. I don't think anybody's trying to get rid of that, or at least I hope not, though I know that Democrats have taken a very radical pro-abortion stance. But Nora, you know, one of the things that changed is in the state of Ohio, we had a referendum in 2023, and the people of Ohio voted overwhelmingly, by the way, against my position. And I think that what I learned from that, Nora, is that we've got to do a better job at winning back people's trust. So many young women would love to have families. So many young women also see an unplanned pregnancy as something that's going to destroy their livelihood, destroy their education, destroy their relationships. And we have got to earn people's trust back. And that's why Donald Trump and I are committed to pursuing pro-family policies, making childcare more accessible, making fertility treatments more accessible, because we've got to do a better job at that. And that's what real leadership is.
Governor, your response.
I'm going to respond on the pro-abortion piece of that. No, we're not. We're pro-women. We're pro-freedom to make your own choice. We know what the implications are to not be that. Women having miscarriages, women not getting the care, physicians feeling like they may be prosecuted for providing that care. And as far as making sure that we're educating our children and giving them options, Minnesota's a state with one of the lowest teen pregnancy rates. We understand that too. We know that the options need to be available, and we make that true. We also make it, we're a top 3 state for the best place to raise children. But these two things to try and say that we're pro-children, but we don't like this, or you guys are pro-abortion, that's not the case at all. We are pro-freedoms for women to make their choices, and we're going, and Kamala Harris is making the case, to make options for children more affordable, a $6,000 child tax credit, but we're not going to base that on the backs of making someone like Amber Thurman drive 600 miles to try and get health care.
Senator?
May I respond to that? First of all, Governor, I agree with you. Amber Thurman should still be alive, and there are a lot of people who should still be alive, and I certainly wish that she was. And maybe you're free to disagree with me on this and explain this to me, but as I read the Minnesota law that you signed into law, the statute that you signed into law, it says that a doctor who presides over an abortion where the baby survives, the doctor is under no obligation to provide life-saving care to a baby who survives a botched late-term abortion. That is, I think, whether you're pro-choice or pro-abortion, that is fundamentally barbaric. And that's why I use that word, Nora, is because some of what we've seen, do you want to force Catholic hospitals to perform abortions against their will? Because Kamala Harris has supported suing Catholic nuns to violate their freedom of conscience. We can be a big and diverse country where we respect people's freedom of conscience and make the country more pro-baby and pro-family. But please.
Yes, Governor, please respond.
Look, this is one where there's always something there. This is a very simple proposition. These are women's decisions to make about their healthcare decisions, and the physicians who know best when they need to do this. Trying to distort the way a law is written to try and make a point, that's not it at all.
What was I wrong about, Governor? Please tell me, what was I wrong about?
That is not the way the law is written. Look, I've given
But how?
I've given this advice on a lot of things, that getting involved, that's been misread, and it was fact-checked at the last debate. But the point on this is there's a continuation of these guys to try and tell women or to get involved. I use this line on this, just mind your own business on this. Things work best when Roe versus Wade was in place. When we do a restoration of Roe, that works best. That doesn't preclude us from increasing funding for children. It doesn't increase us from making sure that once that child's born, like in Minnesota, they get meals. They get early childhood education. They get health care. So that hiding behind we're going to do all these other things when you're not proposing them in your budget, Kamala Harris is proposing them. She's proposing all those things to make life easier for families.
I asked a specific question, Governor. You gave me a slogan as a response.
It's not the case. It's not true. That's not what the law says. So they fact-checked it with President Trump.
Gentlemen, there's a lot to discuss. We have to move on, and we're going to be right back with much more of the CBS News vice presidential debate in just a moment. Welcome back to the CBS News Vice Presidential Debate. We want to turn now to America's gun violence epidemic. The leading cause of death for children and teens in America is by firearms. Senator Vance, you oppose most gun legislation that Democrats claim would curb gun violence. You oppose red flag gun laws and legislation to ban certain semi-automatic rifles, including AR-15s. So let me ask you, earlier this year, for the first time, the parents of a school shooter were convicted of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Do you think holding parents responsible could curb mass shootings? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, Nora, on that particular case, I don't know the full details, but I certainly trust local law enforcement and local authorities to make those decisions. I think in some cases the answer is going to be yes, and in some cases the answer is going to be no. And the details really matter here, of course. For example, if a kid steals a gun, that's going to be different than if a parent hands over a gun knowing that their kid is potentially dangerous. But look, I want to just sort of speak as a father of 3 beautiful little kids, and our oldest is now in 2nd grade. And like a lot of parents, we send our kids to school with such hope and such joy and such pride at their little faces on the first day of school. And we know, unfortunately, that a lot of kids are going to experience this terrible epidemic of gun violence. And of course, our hearts go out to the families that are affected by this terrible stuff. And we do have to do better. And I think that Governor Walz and I actually probably agree that we need to do better on this. The question is just how do we actually do it? Now, here's something that really bothers me and worries me about this epidemic of violence. The gross majority, close to 90%, and some of the statistics I've seen, of the gun violence in this country is committed with illegally obtained firearms. And while we're on that topic, we know that thanks to Kamala Harris's open border, we've seen a massive influx in the number of illegal guns run by the Mexican drug cartel. So that number, the amount of illegal guns in our country is higher today than it was 3.5 years ago. But what do we do about the schools? What do we do to protect our kids? And I think the answer is, and I say this not loving the answer, because I don't want my kids to go to school in a school that feels unsafe or where there are visible signs of security. But I unfortunately think that we have to increase security in our schools. We have to make the doors lock better. We have to make the doors stronger. We've got to make the windows stronger. And of course, we've got to increase school resource officers, because the idea that we can magically wave a wand and take guns out of the hands of bad guys, it just doesn't fit with recent experience. So we've got to make our schools safer. And I think we've got to have some common sense bipartisan solutions for how to do that.
Governor, you have 2 minutes.
Well, I think all the parents watching tonight, this is your biggest nightmare. Look, I got a 17-year-old, and he witnessed a shooting at a community center playing volleyball. Those things don't leave you. As a member of Congress, I sat in my office surrounded by dozens of the Sandy Hook parents, and they were looking at my 7-year-old picture on the wall. Their 7-year-old were dead, and they were asking us to do something. And look, I'm a hunter. I own firearms. The vice president is. We understand that the Second Amendment is there, but our first responsibility is to our kids to figure this out. In Minnesota, we enacted enhanced red flag laws, enhanced background checks, and we can start to get data. But here's the problem. If we really want to solve this, we've got folks that won't allow research to be even done on gun violence. And this idea that we should just live with it, and here's what I do think, that this is a good start to the conversation. I 100% believe that Senator Vance hates it when these kids, it's abhorrent and it breaks your heart. I agree with that. But that's not far enough when we know there are things that work. I've spent time in Finland and seen some Finnish schools. They don't have this happen, even though they have a high gun ownership rate in the country. There are reasonable things that we can do to make a difference. It's not infringing on your Second Amendment. And the idea to have some of these weapons out there, it just doesn't make any sense. Kamala Harris, as an attorney general, worked on this issue. She knows that it's there. No one's trying to scaremonger and say we're taking your guns, but I ask all of you out there.
Guys, y'all know what time it is. It's time to dissect. It's time to dissect this debate. I didn't hope y'all think I was just gonna sit there and just run the TV all night and not talk about this debate. Because from my understanding, every shit with y'all, and I see a lot of y'all in the comments, man, talking about Waltz this and Waltz that, right? Put y'all up on game. That man ain't gonna do nothing for you. He ain't gonna do nothing for America. And the thing about it, oh, what's wrong with my car? Kamala Harris policy got my car not starting up. Y'all don't go nowhere. Oh, there we go. Don't go nowhere. What y'all leaving for? I'm on. Don't go nowhere. Please do not go anywhere. Stay where you are. Because we finna break this sucker down here, boy. We gotta do that. We gotta break that down. And my phone was on 4%. Let me get my hoodie. It's chilly out here. Yes, sir. Time to break this thing down here, boy. Go ahead, self-conscious. Make this thing make a whole lot of sense to these people, man. So they can get their minds out the gutter. Make it make some kind of sense to them. And that's exactly what I'm finna do. And before I get into this video, right? Oh, let me get the overlights on. Before I get into this video, if I have any kids watching my live video, say no to cigarettes, say no to drugs, say no to gun violence, say no to gangs, stay in school, pursue your education, go to college, get a degree, build you a family, and live your life. Word for the day. Now, what's going on? What's going on, Rick? So, guys, now I'm going to tell y'all what I got out of this debate, right? First and foremost, right? We talking about school shootings, right? They talking about taking guns, this and that, the third. One thing I don't agree, one thing that I disagree with Walz, and one thing that I agree with JD Vance, right? Sometimes you have to hold the parents accountable, man. Because if they ain't teaching their kids the right way, if they ain't leading by example, if they ain't educating these kids, man, then who else is to blame? You have to blame the ones that gave them the existence that they have. And y'all mean to tell me y'all sold on Walz? Tim Walz? Y'all sold on him for your vice president? Are you serious? Based on what you just heard come out of Tim Walz's mouth, and that's who you voting for vice president? Man, you done bumped your head on some of you voting for that man. That man's an idiot, bro. That man don't have the slightest idea as to what's going on. But I get it. We got so many Donald Trump haters in the world, right? So many Donald Trump haters in the world that y'all don't care about knowing that Kamala Harris is a witch. She's a snake. Likewise with Walz. Y'all don't care about that. Y'all just don't want Donald Trump in office. Man, look here. I keep telling y'all, it don't matter what you want. It's what you gonna get. We need Donald Trump in office. Do y'all understand? Walz is a young man. Walz is 40 years old. Do y'all see how educated and intelligent this man is? This man sat there and dissected and broke down everything to you, the smallest molecule. But those CBS anchors, man, look at here. I don't know what they got against Donald Trump and JD Vance, but it's 3 against 1 tonight. It was 3 against 1. JD Vance broke it down, though. Y'all see they tried to cut him off? JD Vance broke it down. The reason why fentanyl is over here in America, the reason why these guns are coming over here in America at an all-time high, is because Kamala Harris did what? She went against every policy that Donald Trump had established when he was in office. She unsecured a secured border. And now y'all want to blame the Republicans for what y'all created, what y'all allowed to happen? If that border would have remained secured, we wouldn't be talking about fentanyl. We wouldn't be talking about all these illegal drugs coming over here in America. We wouldn't be talking about none of that. But no, y'all are still sold on Kamala Harris and Walz. And I just don't understand it. Man, if you're rocking with the Trump train, double tap the stream for the win, man. Let's get them likes up first and foremost. If you's a Donald Trump supporter and you coming up in my live, you need to hit that like button. Vance won that hands down. He made Walz look. You right, Mr. Moss. You absolutely right. You are absolutely. The people know that. Even the people know that, man. Man, it was so bad, man. You had 30 million people watching that debate, bro. That's how one-sided it was. Walz mopped the floor with JD Vance mopped the floor with Walz, man. Walz ain't got nothing. I told y'all he's somebody that Kamala Harris handpicked to make it look good. Walz was handpicked. Listen at me. Walz was handpicked by Kamala Harris to make it look good. That's it. Because Dems vote on emotion. You right, Copper. You right. They vote on emotions. You absolutely. I'm glad you said that, brother. I'm glad you said that. And whoever dropped that super chat, I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate that. $1.99, that means a lot to me. Knowing that I have people that respect me and support me for all the energy and the time and effort that I put in what I do. I appreciate the super chat. Back to what I was saying. Now, we have 25 days in the wake up. Now is the time for y'all peoples in America to make the decision now. Don't wait. Make the decision now. Based on what you've seen, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris debate, J.D. Vance and Walz debate, who are you voting for? Leave it in the comment section. Oh, and by the way, don't get it twisted now. Don't get it twisted. I got a link pinned, right? And I pinned that link for a minute. Y'all need to go check that video out. Because all of this right here with P. Diddy got a whole lot to do with Kamala, Oprah Winfrey, and all the rest of them. So I definitely need y'all to go click that link and watch that video now. Everybody watch that video. If all 398 of y'all got to leave out of this chat, go watch that video right now. As a matter of fact, if I have any Republican brothers or sisters on this live right now that have a YouTube community, I need y'all to share that video in your community. The world needs to see that. The world needs to hear that. I ain't even gonna hold you, right? Because look at here. I told you so. That's all I'm saying, guys. I told y'all what was going down. For the ones that's been riding the wave with me for the last several months, I've been telling y'all what was going to take place at these debates. I told y'all Donald Trump was going to mop the floor with Kamala Harris. He did that. I told y'all J.D. Vance was going to mop the floor with Walz. He did that. Now, what else it is to say? Alex, and I need to do this right here for you. Bye. Bye. Dummies. Dummies. People that can't accept the fact that the Democrats have done America dirty for the last 4 freaking years. And it takes somebody like me with heart and courage to stand in front of this camera and let that be known. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing my job. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I don't feel like I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm not on here disrespecting nobody. I'm just giving y'all ism. Keep in mind, I'm just the messenger. Come on, double tap that stream for the win. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's get them likes up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm waiting on y'all. Bless. That's right. That's what I do. Man, look at here, man. I'm just getting sick and tired. I'm so fed up and I'm so frustrated, right? Because all Kamala Harris can do at this point right now, all she can do at this point right now is just get out the way. Because the peoples done realize that she full of it. She tell a lot of lies. She's a very deceitful individual. And peoples don't want her in office. As a matter of fact, people realize that she trained Walz to do the same thing. And peoples are not buying for it. Peoples are not buying into it. It's over with, man. It's a wrap. November the 5th, y'all already know what time it is. Get ready to gear up. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance will, in fact, make America great again. Do anybody know what MAGA stands for, though? Do I have any Republicans in the chat? As a matter of fact, what city and state you coming from? I want to give you a shout out. Drop your city and state. Drop your city and state right now. I want to give you a shout out. Then why did Trump donate to her campaign? Springfield, Chicago, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Charleston, South Carolina, Indiana in the building, Alaska. Okay, I like that. Quebec. Oh, Virginia, Tacoma. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Nashville, Tennessee in the building. Florida, shout out to Florida, man. Let's go. Let's go, California. I know y'all don't want it. Pennsylvania, Hawaii in the building. Ohio, cornfield. Arkansas. Homegirl talking about what she saw, that old new light. Arkansas. Man, I love it, man. I told y'all. I kept trying to tell y'all. New York in the building. I kept trying to tell y'all what was going down. Alabama in the building. Shout out to Roll Tide. Virginia, I see you down there. I see you, VA. Appreciate that, Cooper. I keep it a beam. I keep it 100. I don't care what nobody. Listen, man, double tap that stream for the win. If you rocking with Self-Conscious, the messenger, hit that like button, man. Show me some LOVA. Run it, run it, run it. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all already know what time it is. Donald Trump for the win. It don't take a rocket science to figure that out. Who else gonna do America? Who else is gonna do America some justice? Not Kamala Harris, not Tim Walz. They ain't gonna do America no justice. Another 4 years with Kamala Harris in office? Do y'all understand the magnitude of what I'm saying? 4 more years with Kamala? Man, we're gonna be running around here like robots, man. We gonna be running around here with robots. And then Joe Biden got the nerve to get on national TV. Let me drop this bomb on y'all, man. Hit that like button too. Let me drop this bomb on y'all. Joe Biden had the nerves, right, to get on national TV, correction, to come on national TV and say people of Florida, South Carolina, and these other surrounding East Coast states, find a permanent magic marker. Listen at what I'm saying. This is what Joe Biden said. I can't make it up. If you don't believe me, you can go on Google. Google gonna tell you the same thing. Joe Biden say, people, find yourself a permanent magic marker and write your name and your social security number on your body so we can identify you through the next of your kin. Because if you do not evacuate, you will die. That came from the president. What president was scared of people's up like that? And then up there in North Carolina, do y'all know what's going on in North Carolina up there in the mountains? Can anybody tell me what's going on in the mountains up there in North Carolina? Man, them people struggling, stranded, stuck, can't go nowhere because FEMA done stripped the funds away from them. They said, we bankrupt now. We can't do nothing to help y'all. We don't know what y'all gonna do about food, water, and all that other stuff. And Kamala Harris, she signed it. She approved it. Do I need to say that again? Do I literally need to say that again, or did y'all hear that? Huh? Man, look at here, man. All I'm saying is this right here, man. Enough is enough, guys. Enough is a freaking enough. It's time to open up our eyes. It's about time that we come together as an American people, as American citizens, man, and say we don't care about what color you are or none of that. All we care about at the end of the day is someone getting in office that's going to make America great again. That's what we need to be. That's our focal point right now. Our focal point ain't, oh, he's a KKK. Oh, he's a racist. No. We not going to play those games right there. We not going to play those games. We can't double tap the stream for the win, guys. Let's get to 100 likes. Let's go. And matter of fact, you know what? Y'all know what? Can somebody take the words out of my mouth real fast? Do y'all know what? Man, what's up with the super chats and the super things? I turned it on. I turned the Cash App off and turned on the super chats and the super things. Guys, the goal every day is $30 in super chats or super things. Let's go. Trump for the win, man. This Trump trade top of the hour. I am so freaking happy, not just because I caught big bass today. I'm happy because of what I just bear witness to. J.D. Vance literally stood up there and did his thing tonight. He did his thing tonight. He quieted the Democrats up. They quiet now. They ain't got nothing to say. They can't bounce back from that, man. And I kept telling y'all over and over and over and over again. If Kamala Harris would have left that border secured like Donald Trump had it, guess what? We wouldn't worry about all this fentanyl over here in America killing people. We wouldn't worry about all these additional extra guns over here in America falling in the hands of our youth. We wouldn't have to worry about none of that. But no, Kamala Harris don't want to take responsibility for her actions. She don't want to take responsibilities for something that she created because she do not care about the American peoples. It's not that Donald Trump, matter of fact, Donald Trump took a bullet for the American people. Donald Trump said, I'm going to stand for the people and with the people. And Donald Trump said, you know what? If y'all fight, I fight. But I can't do it by myself. Why y'all think I'm encouraging y'all? Double tap the stream for the win. Huh? You right. They tried killing them twice and they couldn't. That's right. That's right, a cop and a professional liar. That's what Kamala Harris stands for. Whoever you are, you just describe Kamala Harris to a T. I like that part. I like it. I love it. Because guess what? That just goes to show me that there are peoples out there in the world, in fact, that's conscious and aware of Kamala Harris. Peoples know she's a bull. Shh. Do I need to say the other part? Or y'all understand where I'm coming from? She's a bull. Shh. Double tap that screen, guys. Let's go. We got 66 likes, man. We trying to reach 100 likes, man. Now, if you's a true Republican right now, I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't care what a Democrat do. A Democrat can come in the chat and say he begging or whatever. No, I'm asking for support from my people, from the Republican people, from my Republican family, from my Republican brothers, my Republican sisters. I need y'all to smash that like button. I need y'all to drop them super chats and them super things. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. We gonna stand together. We gonna stand together, not against each other. Because if we mess around and allow Kamala Harris to get in that White House, it is over with for America. They already got cocaine in the White House. They still ain't telling y'all about that cocaine. The media done got rid of that. That's non-existent right now. Don't nobody know about that but me, I guess. I guess I'm the only one on. That's right, stand on business. And that's what I do. I stand on business. I stand firm with what I believe in. Y'all double tap that stream, guys. We got 68 likes up there. Let's get 32 more likes. 100 likes for Trump and for the win. Let's Flatfoot get it. I got 175 people in the building. I hope I don't have 100 and some people looking at me, Democrats other than my moderators, because this Trump train, this top of the hour. We got 25 days in the wake up to go before this presidential election. Ain't no way we gonna just sit back and remain silent. Boy, Donald Trump said fight. When he took that bullet, he stood up and say fight. That's just the bottom line. That's what we got to do. Inflation is killing us. Food, gas, cost of living. And now we got FEMA, somebody that's supposed to be looking out for people like us that was affected by Hurricane Helena. The same thing that J.D. Vance was talking about tonight. They talking about sending us $750, but it's a loan and meaning we got to pay it back. Are you serious? Are those people serious, guys? Come on, man. Y'all hit the like button. Stop procrastinating now. Stop procrastinating. I need all my Democrats to show up and show out in a good way. You right, production, 25 days. We got 25 days. Okay, Scott, I appreciate that. I appreciate dollar. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that. We need 27 more dollars and 1 cent and super chats to hit the goal. $30 in super chats and we need 100 likes. I need my Republican people to step up and show out in a good way right now. Let's go. Let's go, because the Democrats, they did not win tonight. We can't allow them to win. If we allow Kamala Harris in office for 4 years, I'm going to stress that every freaking day. As a matter of fact, every time I come on live, I'm going to keep being a perfect reminder to y'all. If Kamala Harris get 4 years in office, we are doomed. It's over with. It is over with. And guess what? You have even the Latinos voting for Donald Trump. I'm talking about Latinos voting for Donald Trump. The black culture, the community is for Donald Trump. Leanne with the big boy $2 super chat. That's what I'm talking about. We need 26 more dollars in super chats. Can somebody make it happen? Can we reach that $30? Can we hit 100 likes? Can we do all of that tonight? Y'all already know what time it is, man. Enough is enough. We ain't playing. We ain't playing with these folks, man. Double tap the stream for the win. You right, Democrats do suck. They suck big time. And they done already displayed that for 4 years. They done already showed the American peoples that, guess what? We can't be trusted. I already knew that from day one. With the way Joe Biden started operating and articulating, I already knew what time it was. But a lot of y'all out there still in denial to this day. And despite of the fact that the Democrats ain't showed y'all nothing in 4 years, you still have a lot of people out there that just stuck on stupid. I hate to say it like that. I really do hate to say it like that, but man, sometimes, man, you just got to be honest and tell the truth, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm about unity. I'm about peace and love. I want to see people get along and come together. White, black, Latinos, Asians, Filipinos, all of them, man. We need to come together, bro. We simply got to come together and fight together. We got to let these Democrats know that we're not going to allow y'all in office so y'all can separate and divide the people. Because that's the plan. That's a part of their Project 2025 plan, to separate the people. They don't want to see love amongst the people, bro. They don't want that. If they wanted that, you and I wouldn't be struggling right now. And like I said yesterday and earlier today, FEMA is streaming bankruptcy because they gave all the available funds to the illegal immigrants. They ain't doing that for us. A lot of us down here still without power. I have to come out here to my car and charge my phone up. It is what it is. It is what it is. I have to run a generator for lights. It is what it is. This is Kamala Harris. This is Joe Biden. This is not Donald Trump's doing. When Donald, oh, who is that? I'm a flipper flopper. What you mean? Oh, what they mean about that? Verita says you's a flip flopper. What? Me? I'm a flip flopper? Am I a flip flopper? Who are they talking about? Okay, let me see. Who? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I just read that, right? I don't have to tell nobody who I support, who I stand for. When you come over here on my live video, before you tap in, go over there and check out the description. Y'all already know what this platform is all about. Y'all know who I stand for, man. Y'all know who I stand for. It's either it's going to be Donald Trump or nothing. Either it's going to be J.D. Vance or nothing. That's what I stand for, man. Trump train all day, every day. And I've been educating y'all about this for the longest. I have been educating y'all about this for the longest. I've been telling y'all peoples out there to open y'all eyes up. And a lot of peoples are just still deaf, dumb, and blind to the fact of what's going on around them. A lot of y'all are in denial. A lot of y'all don't understand that Kamala Harris do not have your best interests at heart. As a matter of fact, Kamala Harris don't even care about herself. More or less the American people. You feel me? So when November the 5th get here, if you decide to wait then to cast your vote, just make sure you voting for Donald Trump. That's all. Because Donald Trump is going to make America great again. Don't y'all know that's what MAGA stands for? Come on, man. Double tap the stream for the win, guys. We need 28 more likes, man. And we need $24 more in super chats. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Republicans. I need y'all to show up and show out right now. Show up and show out right now. Because these Democrats, they getting a little too sassy in the chat. The Democrats are getting a little too sassy and too bold in the chat. We got to shut them down and shut them up. That's what we got to do. Because this is a Donald Trump platform. No Democrats going to come in my on my live on a Donald Trump platform, on a Republican platform, and try to dictate nothing, because we ain't going for it. Double tap the stream for the win. Y'all already know what time it is. It's your boy Self-Conscious, aka Self-Con, in the building. I'm just a messenger. Tell a friend to let a friend know that I'm live right now so they can come get some of this ism. So I can give them a little bit of this wisdom, this knowledge, wisdom, and standing. That's what they need. Let's go. 25 more likes for the win, guys. 25 more likes for the win. Let's flat foot get it. Hey, that's right, Leanne. You ain't got to explain that. Everybody that rock with me on my platform already know what time it is. That's why I ain't even respond to it, because everybody already know what's up with self-conscious. I ain't even got to get into that. Everybody know I support Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, so I don't have to get into that. And it's kind of ironic. This person right here must be new to the channel. You got to be new to this channel right here. You ain't been around long. You need to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe and turn your post notification bells so I can baptize you every day with this Donald Trump literature. Well, I can't believe that I had to laugh on that. Come on, guys. 25 more likes. Let's go. Let's go. Double tap the stream for the win. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go, man. Let's get them likes up now. Let's get them likes up. Let's get them likes up. Let's show these Democrats how we rock over here. I ain't got but 10 more minutes left on the live, guys. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all already know what time it is. Your boy Self-Conscious is back. I told y'all I had to go on a little mental health run one time. I wanted them Democrats, them Demorats to get comfortable. Oh yeah, we done defeated that Trump train. Come on, man. Y'all already know what time it is. It ain't no Kamala time. Booyah! Boy, I had y'all going too, boy. I would sit back and laugh every day. Every time I get off live, I just start laughing. I be like, man, boy, these Democrats really think they defeated the Trump train. I was saying to myself, man, they's probably saying, man, he confused. He don't know what's going on. He crying. He doing this and doing that. That was all a part of the plan. That was all a part of the plan, Democrats. I had to put my mental health jacket on. Come on, Republicans, double tap the stream. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. 23 more likes. Let's go. Let's double tap together. Come on. Let's double tap together. Let's go. Let's get them 100 likes. I've been on the train since 2014, Eliane. I ain't the enemy. Trump is our only hope for America. Verteris, what's going on, man? I rock with you, bro. I rock with you. I got a lot of love for you, bro. Even though I ain't never met you, I got a lot of love and respect for you, man. This Self-Conscious. You know what I stand for, bro. Come on, man. Come on, Virgil. Hey, man, you been watching my channel too long, bro. You already know where I stand at, bro. Come on now. Don't do that. Out of all people, I would have never expected that from you, my brother. Yeah, I remember you. I respect you, bro. Ain't nothing but love. Ain't nothing but love, man. Nothing but love. And like I was saying earlier, YouTube informed me that I had to unmoderize at least 5 people, 6 people for a week, and then I can remake them moderators again. That's why I done that. So if I deleted anybody, it ain't nothing against you or nothing like that. You're going to be mods again. I just got to follow YouTube standards and guidelines. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, I ain't got nothing but love for you, man. I love all y'all guys. You know what I'm saying? Even the Democrats. Even the Democrats. I love y'all haters too. And trolls. Because the trolls make the platform pop. Y'all already see the numbers we putting up. Y'all see the numbers we putting up, man. We putting up Bugs Bunny and Roger Rabbit numbers. You feel me? And every time somebody do a bogus report, all I do is click appeal. YouTube will check the video out, see ain't nothing wrong with it, and put it right back up. Because I ain't doing that. I ain't on here showing guns. I ain't talking about killing nobody, hurting nobody. All I want to do is see peoples come together, bro. I don't knock nobody. That's all I want to see. You feel me? But listen, I'm about to get off this live, man, because my Republican family, I don't know if y'all guys family time, watching the football games, I respect that, man. I done been on here long enough. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I didn't reach 100 likes. I didn't reach the $30 in super chat money. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I guess ain't nobody, I guess my peoples didn't feel, well, Leanne, she donated and another person donated. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But I was expecting more from my people. Every time I come on here, that's what I expect. I expect for my peoples to show me some love. If you can't send a super chat or a super thanks, smashing that like button is just like money, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you have options. And guess what? The like is free. That don't cost nobody nothing. But I get it. I understand that part, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on here saying or talking about the stuff y'all want me to talk about. Damn it, we need Donald J. Trump in office. That's just the bottom line. And that's what I'm promoting. And that's what I'm advertising. Trump and Vance 2024 all the way to 2028. What part that y'all don't understand? What part y'all don't get? It is what it is, man. And it's going to be what it is. By all means necessary. You feel me? Oh, Nunya, I understand. I understand, man. I understand. I understand. I understand. Leanne, I appreciate you. You sent me 2 super chats. And Scott Copper, that's your name. I appreciate the super chat. And for the ones that did tap in tonight, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I really do. So now, I gotta get ready to end this live video, guys. You know what I'm saying? I think I did good. I gave y'all a lot of my time tonight. I think I did. If I didn't give y'all enough, then I apologize. God's willing, tomorrow we'll do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? People say self-conscious don't never come outside. I'm outside now. I'm outside now. Oh, Rick Hunter, I already know it, baby. I already know it. See, listen, man, I already know if my moderators, hey, I already know if my moderators are not on, I know it's either y'all spending quality time, family time or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or y'all guys busy. I understand that. I respect that. And I appreciate y'all guys when y'all do come on. Appreciate that, Leanne T. You ain't got to keep sending them, baby girl. Somebody else need to help you out. You ain't the only one on this live video. Somebody else need to help you out. That's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? You's a woman. I need the fellas to step up. It seems like it's always, and my big guilter, I don't know what's up with him, man. I hope everything is good with the brother, man. I know if he was on my live right now, man, he would have been to help me reach my goal. You know what I'm saying? There's one guy that gives me, and I subscribe tonight too. Appreciate that, Nunya. I appreciate that. All you got to do is turn on your notification bells. So every time I go live, you'll notify yourself. You won't miss the live stream or whatever. I definitely need y'all. Everybody that's subscribed to my channel, I need y'all to turn the post notification bells on. I need y'all to do that. I ain't nothing but love, man. I'm outside tonight. Man. I decided to step on that. You know what I'm saying? Move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get situated. Catch up with the highlights from the game earlier. And y'all know what time it is, man. Sunday morning, get up, give God his flowers and kudos or whatever. And the Trump train early in the morning. You know, I hate we didn't hit 100 likes. Look like we ain't gonna hit the $30 in super chats. But hey, $7.98, that's a whole lot. Then we got 80 likes up there, man. That's what I'm talking about. 80 likes. And for all my white brothers and sisters out there, all my white brothers and sisters, know that there's a black man that don't look at y'all as being bad people. Some of y'all are, just like it's some bad black people. But for the most part, I love y'all just like I love my brothers and sisters, man. Ain't nothing but love. I cashed out. I think it better because you get to keep more of what you... You cashed out you cashed out me something. Let me know how much it is, so when I go check my cash app on my other phone. Oh yeah, I know, man. That's why I told him I was trying to figure out what he was saying, because, you know, I rock with dude. I got respect for my man. My man always, you know, show me support. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I was just kind of confused as to what's going on. But you right. Cash App, I do get a chance to keep most of the money, because if not, YouTube gonna get they cut. Okay, that's what's up. $4 is, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, my brother. I definitely do. Shit, that's $12 of the 30 right there. I appreciate that, man. Ain't nothing but love, bro. Ain't nothing but love, man. I just wish we could have hit them 100 likes, though. Shit, we ain't need number what? 18 more likes. 18 likes, boy. I could have hit that 100 tonight, boy. Blessings to you, like and subscribe. JDJ, appreciate that. Hey, make sure you turn on your post notification bells too, because, you know, I'm going live in the morning Trump train, so y'all already know what it is. 17 short. That's it, my brother. That's it. 17 likes short. But, man, listen. 25 days, guys. I'm talking about 25 days before the most important day in all of American history. And I'm going to leave you with this question right here. Are you content and satisfied with this inflation? 4 more is more than $3.99. 4 is more than $3.99. That's right. You right, Leanne. You absolutely right about that. So the link that I got pinned, right? If any of y'all guys watching my live right now, if you have a YouTube community, I will not demand, but respectfully ask you, especially if you're a Republican, share the link or any one of my videos in your community. That's what I need y'all to do. Share the video. I need y'all to watch the videos. I need all of my mods, if you can, watch the videos, leave comments, do all of that. Tell a friend to let a friend know, because I'm finna tap out for the night, but get prepared and ready early in the morning. Trump train, top of the hour. We gotta go in, guys. We gotta go in. We gotta go ham. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all guys for the participation tonight, the love and the support. And may God protect y'all guys, and get ready for the Trump train in the morning. Peace, love, and blessings.